Hello everyone and welcome to the Not For Hire YouTube channel. Today we're working on Shorty again. And first thing we're going to do today is pull off this hub, or the tire, the hub and the drum, and see how the brakes are. And well, mainly just so I can see what they look like so I can order new ones. But we're going to just start doing that, and yeah. Here's something you definitely don't want to see when you take the cover off. It's a hub cover here. Nothing but rust. Now, when I picked up this axle, it was in the field laying down with the hub facing up. So the water must have, and it was missing one of the bolts too. This bolt's not in there. So the water must have got behind it and filled the hub up with water, which sucks. Well, whatever, I'm going to replace everything anyway, so not that big of a deal. Don't see anything too scary. Drum looks good. Back bearing had a little grease, but you can see how rusty it is, so definitely got to replace it. All the hardware looks good. The drums themselves actually, or the shoes actually look good, but I guess it's just safer to replace them than it is to get killed, so cool. Alright, got the shoes off, got the bearings off, and one thing I noticed right away, look at these, look at this. Holy crap, I can't even get it out of there. I don't know what these are called, but they push on the shoes and they have a slot in them, they hold them in, and there's just nothing left to it. So I'm gonna have to try to get two of these, because the other one's not much better. Yeah, the other one doesn't even come off. But yeah, I'm glad I'm doing these. And these things, the shoes, actually have a manufacturer name on them. Stopper 204 ED, relined by Independent Rebuilders. Is it right here? So I don't know who that is, but at least there's a number on it, so that way might be easier to cross-reference at Napa. Next thing I do is pull this wheel cylinder off, and I gotta heat this keeper up and try to get it to come off of there. This thing isn't too great either, but it'll work if I can't get one. But yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Now I know the wheel cylinder is kind of catching on fire, but I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to replace it anyways. Good and hot. Let's see if I can pop it off. Yes, perfect. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to take the wheel cylinder off, make sure those other ones fit. Okay, that's out. Alright, so that wheel cylinder fits perfect. So happy with that. I don't have to buy those. And thing I noticed is that the old one has a metal line on it going into a hose. And what it looks like, because the new hose that I bought for it a while ago, well, the new hose, because they didn't have any more, this hose screws directly into the master cylinder, and then this part goes to the frame like it's supposed to. So that's kind of nice. It eliminates all this crap that's on here. I could take off this bracket, and I mean, these hoses were no good anyway, so. And then, yeah, I'll change the grease fittings on here so I can get some grease into it. But alright, I guess it's time to take a trip to Napa and see what I can get for this thing. Oh, and if you're wondering what the hell this is, if you haven't watched the rest of the videos on the wrecker, this, I got it with it cut off here, and this axle I got with it cut off there. So I just stuck them together just so I can move it around the yard, but that's another thing that definitely has to be addressed. And I gotta get some shocks for it. As you can see, the last guy just lopped them off, so, and this one's shot. But alright, let's go. Alright, came back from Napa. Of course, didn't have everything, but I'm gonna lay it out and then we'll go from there. Okay, so in true Napa fashion, they couldn't find any of the parts, so I ended up pulling out my phone and finding the parts myself, and they cross-reference them to their parts from other parts stores. But I got the brake shoes, which they look great. They couldn't find them at first, and I thought for sure I was going to have to reuse these old ones, which I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I don't have to, because these are riveted on, and in my opinion, the riveted on ones are better than the glued on ones, because the shit builds up behind them, like you can already see it's happening there, and probably a few other spots too. It's like starting to corrode there, which is weird. But yeah, I think these shoes are going to be way better. As far as these pieces go, I don't actually know what these are called, but you can see paper thin. And all these had to do was break and slide off the wheel cylinder or slide off the shoe, and then I would have never been able to stop. Would have popped the wheel cylinder, and then it would have been leaking all over the place. So I'm really glad they had those. See, there's just nothing left of them. I've never seen these things rot like that ever, but I don't know, probably Chinese metal or something, and that's what happens. They had the front or the outer bearings and races. I pounded the races out. I didn't show you that. And this is the inner and the seal. The seal they didn't have. The inner they didn't have, race or bearing. So I still got to go hunt that down. Got some wheel bearing grease. I have one of those the bearing packers that you hook a grease fitting to, and you use a grease gun and do it. I forgot what it's called. I got some high temp paint. I'm going to paint the drum and the backing plate and everything, and some brake clean and stuff so I can clean it up. But yeah, that's what I got so far. Oh, I also need I pounded one of the studs out to try to get another one, and I need to get 2 of these and 4 of these lug nuts. But yeah, that's another thing I'm gonna have to hunt down. But there's a Fleet Pride in a couple towns over. I'm gonna try them and see if they got the rest of the parts. But at least for now I can put the brakes back together, so I'm gonna do that. Alright, I got everything cleaned up and painted. Painted the wheel cylinder and the bolts and stuff. Painted the hub assembly, cleaned it up good. Painted the cover for the outside. And now I'm going to take all these springs off and probably paint those and start putting this little girl back together. Alright. All done with this brake on this side. What do you guys think? Hit that like button. I think she came out pretty good. Glad I painted everything up, made it look a lot better. But looks like new. Now I still gotta go hunt down those bearings and the seal for the back. Then I can put the hub and the drum back on, and then I'm gonna sand it down on the truck and then paint the drum itself. So yeah, hit that thumbs up button if you guys like how it came out. I'd appreciate it. All right, next thing, you can't really see it, but I painted the backside here where wheel cylinder is, and I painted the wheel cylinder too while it was out, so that way it doesn't get all rusty. But yeah, all right, next thing I'm gonna do is the hose. All right, well, you can see it's back together. It's been about 3 weeks since I last turned the camera on. It turns out I wasn't prepared as prepared as I thought I was. I was missing the rear bearing and race, and I thought I was going to get away with it and use the original one, but it turns out it was rusted all the way through like you saw. So I had to order everything, and I could not find anything. It took a long time. I'll go over all the parts and stuff I got, so the part number, so in case you're having this problem you can look over it. But for right now, also, look at this. In that time it took me to get the parts, look at this beauty. The drag link here. Here's the old one. As you guys know, I was having a problem finding the drag link, and so I needed a drag link to go through this way and then come through the back of the pitman arm. Well, it turns out when Buddy was trying to make the four-wheel drive work in this truck, the front axle, you go look at the other videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. But the four-wheel drive axle is a shorter arm, and I believe the axle may be as wide, maybe not as wide, but with this spun around, brings the pitman arm out here a little more. So it was probably in line more with that other axle. It took a lot of figuring out, and the reason that you could see there's like paint on it, that's what gave it away in the numbers. So I was like, well, you should be able to see the numbers. So I was poking around, and then I finally just took it off and flipped it around and put it back on, and I was like, oh, this is how it's supposed to go. That's why I couldn't find the drag link. I was trying to look for the wrong style. But yep, I think it's 78 bucks. Got the right one, so brand new, which I'm very happy about. Okay, painted the drums and everything. Had this one turned so it's like brand new on the inside. Last thing I have to do is put the cover on. Oh, that's another thing. It took forever to find lug nuts. Here in Connecticut, there was none. They had to order these. I went to all different kinds of places, and it turned Superior Spring in North Haven or New Haven. They found me the lug nuts and studs. You can see here, a couple of them were broken. I got brand new ones. Put them in. So now I got new nuts and some new lugs. Ready to go in there. Get the new hoses on. Oh, that's another thing. New copper nickel lines. This one goes into the, well, I'll show you that in a second. This one goes for the front lines, down to the front splitter for the two front drums, and then this one goes into the cab. And this is for the, I don't know what the Myco or, well, anyways, it's a brake switch for the rear. It's like a line lock. It holds the pressure to the rear brakes, so that way the rear axle stays locked. So I did that. All new lines all the way through. New hoses. Nothing's really dry, but let's see here. Put the new line in, took the old line out, didn't leave any old stuff. Put the clamps back on it to hold it back in. And yeah, it came out really good. Really happy with it. Like I said, brand new line to the rear. Copper nickel all the way to the front. So hopefully won't ever have to touch those again. What else did I do? Oh, now we're on to the other side. On this side, things look a lot better. So, and the bearing and the seal and everything stayed in the drum when I took it off. Drum looks good. Just gonna have it turned. It'll be done. Don't worry about it again. Yeah, alright, so I'm gonna do this one now and get this one all done, and then we'll get the truck back together. Oh, I also gotta get shocks still. That's one thing. And then we can go drive around, which is gonna be pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited. Alright, got it all done. I wanted to show that I didn't skimp. I did everything I did on the other side. Cleaned it all up, painted it, painted all the hardware. I would have bought new hardware, but can't find it, so yeah. All new. So now I'm gonna go drop off the drum to get turned, and then do the bearings and throw it on. Alright guys, got it all back together. Only thing you missed is me sanding the wheels and painting them black, Rust-Oleum. Just clean them up quick to just clean them up so that way I can inspect them, and just to keep them from rusting more. And plus I want them black anyway, so works out. I bent down those arms, put the new step on, or I just sat it on there, put one bolt in it. I'm gonna take it off, sand it, and paint it. Then I gotta do the rocker panel and stuff. I took out all that vacuum system. What a mess. And all the old lines, and replaced them with the new copper nickel, and obviously the Hydro Boost like you guys saw. But oh yeah, I did the muffler. All I did was use the one that was on there. I extended the pipe out a couple more feet, and I cut the ends off, all the new ends on it, and painted it. And it looks pretty good. She's sweet. Gotta paint these either I'm gonna paint the whole truck. I'm thinking for now I might just paint the doors. I mean, I still gotta do the rear brakes, gotta take the rear drums off and stuff. I gotta paint these rear wheels, so I don't know. Kind of looks like a UPS truck. Brown and black wheels, but that's all right. Maybe just paint the doors, get some badges for the side, peel off all those horrible stickers. The 24-hour thing is painted on there, not much I can do. Same with the brake service thing. All right, let's test the brakes out. Oh, before we get into that, Hydro Boost completely hooked up. I took the line coming out of the pump, went into the Hydro Boost just like factory does, came out of the pump, made a line that goes from the rubber line into the steering box. It really was easy. I even used the old fitting and just used new new 3/8 line, and it worked great. If anybody has any questions about that, I can help you. If you got this style. This style power steering pump and hydro boost. You see the new lines. One goes into the cab, the other one comes out, and then it goes into a spiral and then into the frame. Welded that tube going into the reservoir for the power steering for the return for the hydro boost. It works perfect. No overflowing. But it doesn't overflow or anything so far, at least, which is good. Everything kind of went smooth. Oh, yeah. You can see it, the hydro boost is actually bolted to the firewall now with grade 8 hardware and everything, so takes care of that. Oh, I got a light for it finally. I put the old lenses on it. It's a little different on the inside, but the outside looks exactly the same, which is pretty cool, and the lenses fit right on it. Alright, let's test out the brakes. Good drag from the rear. Those things lock right up. No locking up in the front though. That could just be out of adjustment. I adjusted them just so they kind of rubbed on the drum, but they might have set in place now. Maybe I readjust them. Maybe re-bleed them again. Feels like they're working good, but it's not. I mean, in a real life scenario, I kind of would. It's better to steer with the front if they don't lock up, but I just slammed on them pretty hard, so I kind of want them to lock up. Alright, well, I got a little bit of work to do still. That's alright. Alright, guys, well, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode on old Shorty here. Got a lot done though. Only thing I gotta get left is shocks, but she's all basically all new. Oh, left the lights on before I kill the battery. Yeah, this step's gonna work out great. The only difference is it doesn't have holes in it. Like the other one has a back brace on it, but they probably, I can see Bondo on it, they probably smoothed it off so they could put their name there or something. And they welded the heads of the bolts to it, so that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna cut those all off. Whatever. Oh, I'm gonna be getting new front tires too, because, you know, so definitely be a lot safer, and I'd like to, if I can afford it, to get the rears done too. But and I'm gonna get new tires because they're cheap for those, for the dollies. All right, man. Cool. A lot of work, but I really actually like it. It's a lot of fun. Of course, this is like my dream truck, basically. So. Definitely fun to work on. But alright. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Next time we're going to be doing rear brakes. What else? Rear brakes, and I think we're going to tow something next time. I just want to make sure the rear brakes are good before I start dragging stuff around. But yeah, guys. Until next time, thanks for watching. Alright, now we're just going to go over the parts I used to do the front brakes. All the part numbers. First, the brake shoes is Napa FT-299-R. Those are the shoes. Outer bearings. I believe this is the race, the small one, and the bearing, the small one. This is the outer. The race for the inner is BR3525, Napa also. I think it's Timken 3578A is the inner bearing, and then seal 8975S is the national oil seal. This is the wheel bearing, or wheel cylinder. These came with the axle when I bought it. I don't know why the guy gave them to me. He just had them and he said, here, so that's perfect. Didn't have to buy these, but that's the part number for those. I believe this is the Napa part number for the little pistons for the wheel cylinder that push on the brake calipers, the ones that were all rotted out. Those are for that. And then the brake hoses, that's the number for the brake hoses between the frame and from the frame to the wheel cylinders. Alright, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything.